really groundbreaking. Put your eyes on the goal and you just focus on it and get it done. I spoke of it as a jigsaw puzzle. All the pieces of the puzzle have to fit in.
Like, are you also strategizing how are we gonna, bring revenue to this, or do you think that's a totally different
The name selected was Ekagati.
large scale project of an international airport would take place?
Team building exercise. Lot of construction workers started taking the flight and coming in.
Is there any playbook?
There are no real weekends, so it's like work. Did my structural masters from the University of Kentucky. The professional journey took me to New York, New Jersey, the tri-state area, to the Middle East, Armenia.
Yeah. Groundbreaking.
Welcome to the Groundbreaking, sir. How's it going?
Thank you for having me here. It's going great.
How's your day been like?
Quite good actually. Generally in like the construction field, there are no real weekends. So it's like work. Every Saturday also it's work. You very rarely get a day off. So you enjoy the day when you get it off.
Yeah. Sir, if you can introduce yourself to our audience and tell us more about your work and what you've been doing.
So I'm Sundar Chandramouli and I'm a professional civil engineer, born and brought up in Bangalore, studied here, finished my engineering, then did my structural masters from the University of Kentucky across the globe. The professional journey took me to like New York, New Jersey, the tri-state area, brought me back to Bangalore, then again went back to the Middle East and worked in places like Armenia. Various projects, big infrastructure projects, high-rise buildings, hospitals, hotels. So very varied roles and very varied type of projects. And finally came back to Bangalore, worked on the Bangalore Airport for the last 7.5 years. So yeah, I mean, that's like a full circle back to Bangalore now.
If, like, as a designer, I am, probably not the right person who would know a lot about construction, infrastructure and stuff like that. But I would love to start this conversation asking you about your, experience building Bangalore Airport. Do you think it's the right question, and how you've been can take us through about your journey and your roles towards sculpting the whole airport and what goes to build something international, a place like airport.
So I mean, when you'll be a very good person to actually ask the questions and bring out the whole show, because you look at any project as a project, whether it is a design, whether it is a software project, whether it is a hardware, or whether it is an infrastructure project. I think the cycle is the same. So you start planning, then you start designing it, then you start looking at the requirements, the user, what is the requirements like. Then you put the pieces of the puzzle together, and then you start delivering the project. So it's pretty much the same that you can take in that case. For me, it has been quite a nice journey. I have done the role of contractor. I have been in the role of a consultant. I have been in the role of a project manager. I have been in the role of an owner as a client. So I have seen all facets of the project. What really should be like a user viewpoint, and what would be an advisor's viewpoint, what would be an owner's viewpoint. And then that gives me a much more satisfaction as to how to bring the project together and deliver it. So it's been quite nice. If you look at my most recent one, that's the Bangalore Airport. I joined the airport organization in 2018 when the first phase was just finished, and they were thinking of the second phase of expansion. So there was only one runway and one terminal. And in the 5 years which we took to build it, I could see a huge change. I mean, the public could not envision how they would start using Terminal 2, what would the second runway mean to them and things like that. But for us, sitting behind the scenes and looking at that, it was a very nice feeling actually to see something on the piece of paper coming onto the actual ground and making sure that it functions the way it should have. It was designed to. So that was a great.
Yeah, I think it's been getting a lot of attention. Like I've traveled to Terminal 2 and it's one of the most beautiful ones out there.
Right.
What was the timeline for the whole project from idea to execution?
I mean, the plan was to do it in 5 years, from 2017 to 2022 or 2023. But then COVID was there in the middle, but we still managed to complete it. So we opened the runway in 2019 December, just before the COVID shutdown was there. And then we took advantage of the COVID period where we could shut down the old runway and then upgrade it with the latest modern facilities. And we tried to get the Terminal 2 up as fast as possible. So finally we were able to complete it maybe with 1 year or 1.5 years overshoot.
And what was the objective? Is it like having a terminal which was a need from that came out of volume, like volume of people can use the airlines, or
so
what is the problem statements? Something that I want.
So the Bangalore Airport is the first PPP airport that was envisioned in the country, public-private partnership, and it has a concession agreement, and the agreement is having a specific requirement saying that this should be the I could say like the service providing there are some KPIs that are given, and the concessionaire is supposed to meet those KPIs. And if there's any delay or if there's any time extension or something like that, then there are some trigger points which ensure that the next phase of expansion has to start. So with one runway, for example, you can cater to so many aircrafts. You can cater to so much of air traffic that comes through. With one terminal, with the size of the terminal and everything, how many passengers can go through, how much of baggage can move through that. So there are some guidelines that we are supposed to take. The waiting time for each, the throughput, what we talk about as a passenger or as a baggage that has to go through. So all those calculations are taken into place. So once your passenger growth, say we say million passengers per year, MPA, million passengers per annum, when it crosses a certain point, then you're supposed to do the next phase of expansion. So that is the capacity of the terminal, capacity of the runway, capacity of the whole airport as such, which combines with the apron, with the parking of the airlines and everything like that. So considering all these, the trigger point was there when we crossed the 30 million passengers for Terminal 1, that we are supposed to have the next phase, the 25 million passengers additional capacity on this terminal, T2. So that's when we started building it, and we had to complete it by the time that the passenger growth comes there. But this is all only...
Yeah, you must have envisioned how much turnaround we're going to see in like 5 years.
Correct. And like all the things that you put on paper, the actual is much different than what is on paper.
Like was it, like how close was it to your...
The growth was too fast. The passenger growth, even now, the aviation story of India, the passenger growth is too fast, and the infrastructure has to actually keep catching up. Infrastructure takes time to build.
Yeah.
And we are always finding that we are playing catch up. We are not ahead of the demand, but we are slightly behind it. So we always need very, very tough timelines to actually catch up and get that done. So you will experience, T1 experienced a lot of crowding before actually T2 opened up, and then the half of the passengers moved across to T2 kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's also behaviors. I'm sure a lot of behaviors also changed after pandemic, right? At the same time, we've been having this conversation about how Indian middle class are able to afford more and stuff like that.
Correct.
Like people can afford more flights than ever.
Correct. So we found a lot of change happening there. I give you my example. For construction workers, we need to move construction workers from, say, West Bengal or Bihar or Jharkhand or these remote places, Orissa and things like that. And it used to take us a week to get them from there to the working site. Because you travel by bus or travel by train, they have to change two buses or change the trains and come and go and things like that.
This is why Terminal 2 was getting built.
Yes. I mean, and in the general construction industry also. So any big infrastructure project, people have to come from remote places. And after COVID, people found it suddenly that it's easier and much faster to move them by flight. So a lot of construction workers started moving, taking the flight and coming in to work in the construction site,
Contractors
which previously it was unheard of. They used to always come by buses or and it used to take them like 3-4 days travel and things like it was very remote. So that change in pattern, change in behavior also is a major contribution to the aviation traffic also.
Yeah. I just want to know from a from a layman point of view, when a project like an airport comes to you or comes to an organization, is there any playbook sort of a thing that, okay, we need these departments or we need to get the drawings first of the place and then we just start constructing? I'm sure there's a lot of architectural organizations also involved. If you can take us quickly through the whole process of a project, how a large scale project of an international airport would take place.
Generally, you talk about the first step would be like a master planning. You have to envisage that the entire airport is fully built completely and how it will function. What is the ultimate capacity of an air? Supposing you're having some 4,000 acres of land. How would you configure the runways? That is usually defined by the weather, by the wind directions, predominantly how the wind blows in the region. So if you see, there are some airports which have intersecting runways. Some airports have parallel runways, like Mumbai has intersecting runways because the wind direction changes from winter to summer to spring to autumn is completely different the way it happens in Bangalore. So in Bangalore, you find the wind changes 180 degrees. So 6 months of the year, it is blowing from west to east. 6 months, it is blowing from east to west. So that's how you are having parallel runways. And so the master planning looks at all these factors. How much of rain is there? What is the fog? What is the rainfall pattern? And what is the usage pattern? And there are air traffic across the region also. If there's another airport nearby, how the air traffic goes and how everything has to happen. So it envisages the fully built portion first, completely fit out. But we don't build that. We take in bite-sized chunks and we say in the first 5 years how much we are going to build. After the saturation of that, in the next 5 years how much we are going to build. After that facility is saturated, how much we can build so it's going to be done in phases. And those phases are identified. Say, for example, in the Bangalore Airport, it started sometime in like maybe 2000 or even earlier than that, 1999, 90, something like that. And then they already formed the land and they envisaged that this is going to be the master plan for the whole airport. There may be some fine-tuning happening as we go ahead, but more or less broad-based master plan will be finalized. And then it will be revisited every 5 years, for example. So then that part of the identified expansion will be built in that period of time. And the usage will be based on that. And land will always be reserved for future expansion, for future water usage is there. It will all be identified and kept separately. And then it will be done in steps. The validation keeps happening as and when the traffic increases, how the usage happens, and what is the pattern that emerges once it is started. Yes, this is validated. No, we need to fine-tune this. Then we need to know if any new technology emerges, how we can use that technology to take it up. So that keeps updated. The master plan keeps updating. And based on that, we start building. So each time we need to build, we have to hire an architect. We have to hire many engineers. The airport is quite a complex many disciplines come and fall in line together, and everything is prescribed. There are regulatory bodies, there are aviation authorities who exactly prescribe how the runway has to be, what are the specifications, what are the features, facilities that need to be there for that, safety, and everything is taken into consideration. And so there's not too much of a freedom given to the designer to do. It's pretty much you have to work within these guidelines.
Yeah.
And then it's quite precision. It's not, the runway is not like putting a road together or putting a small building together. It's quite precise. The quality and the kind of the materials is much tolerance is much tighter.
Yeah.
Not much of error that we can margin of error.
Yeah, and also like navigate from a space where you're like, okay, this is not gonna work out, and maybe we can leverage some new tech. So having that space while you're building is a very important. I'm assuming.
Correct.
I've always been very curious of how the business side of airport works. We were pitching to this very big airport management real estate company, and they one of the problem statement that we talked about is that how can we make more money out of the airport? How can we make more people buy? While you're maybe developing the airport, building the airport, is like, are you also strategizing how are we gonna bring revenue to this, or do you think that's a totally different conversation?
So there will be parallel streams going on. The primary function of an airport is air travel. That is the primary function. It cannot dilute that function. So first you need to look at what a passenger who's having this air travel need, what type of facilities they need, and what type of arrangements, what type of amenities you need to give for enabling that. That is the prime focus. If you start focusing on other things and dilute this, then there's a big chance that people may miss flights, or the baggage, you may misplace the baggage, or it will not be streamlined. So the primary focus, the whole this one has to be first, what is the requirement for an air travel, and other things can be kept around it. Other things has to work. Keeping this as a primary focus, what else can we do? That should be. It's not the other way around. So first you plan for the aviation, for the whole travel part, and then around it, what else can be added on has to be there on that.
What are your thoughts on the final result now that you can see? And I'm sure you've been using that terminal a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we took pride for the Bangalore Airport. The initial design, everything was taken by, I think the first consortium that got the job was Siemens, Zurich Airport, and L&T as a consortium. So Siemens brought in the German technology, Zurich brought in the Swiss efficiency, and L&T was the construction specialist over here. So that's what my understanding is, my reading of the whole situation is. So when the Zurich Airport did that, the pride of the Bangalore Airport, the Terminal 1, was the shortest time taken, or the shortest distance also. When you come to the curb, when you get on from your taxi or from your car or from the vehicle, to doing the check-in, to boarding the aircraft. That was the most efficient arrangement that happened. So that was the pride of what we used to call, Namma Bengaluru, Namma Airport kind of a thing. And that still works. Nothing can beat the Bangalore Airport. Even now you can see on social media people saying that I cleared the security and I boarded the flight in so many minutes.
Yeah.
And
I've experienced that as well.
Yeah.
Like compared to Delhi Airport, for example, like you could be in spaces where, in order to reach to the final gate, boarding gate, it can take you 25 to 30 minutes.
Correct.
By walking. So doing that very smartly is a great task, and saving great time for the people. Which is your favorite airport that you have seen, and then operations wise, and like your experience and everything?
I have to say Bangalore Airport is my favorite airport.
Or maybe after Bangalore Airport. I'm just curious to know if you have any favorites.
I mean, so there are several airports. So each airport has its own advantages and disadvantages and the purpose of travel. So if you're a business traveler, you look for certain different things as compared to when you're a leisure traveler. So as a leisure traveler, maybe your favorite airport could be something different. Nice,
Yeah.
quiet, silent, and relaxing journey as compared to business airport where you have to fly from Bangalore to Bombay or Delhi every other week or every other month or something like that. And then so you look for different things, and it's there's nothing I would say like an ideal airport. It's for me, as long as the whole journey is comfortable, I would not really dwell on any specific airport as an overall experience. So if you want to talk about certain things specifically, we want to say, okay, I need the open spaces, the green area, and everybody talks about the Changi Airport, which is the Singapore Changi Airport is one of the best airports, and they set the bar, they set the trend on how
One
an
with the
airport should be.
waterfall.
Yes, right. So that is one extreme, and the other extreme would be, very opulent, very spacious, and like you, if you say the Dubai airport or the Abu Dhabi airport kind of a thing. And I have not seen the new Qatar the terminal yet. They were talking about the lounge and everything to be very beautiful over there. But yeah, so it's a matter of taste. It's a matter of and at that moment, what are you looking for? Are you a business traveler? Are you going on a vacation? And how you feel it? So that's what is the experience is about. It's about experiences.
Yeah, 100%. Now with so many services and experiences inside the airport, it'll make more sense to have like an ecosystem where everything can thrive. Right. I'm also curious, like as someone who's taking care of the infrastructure, like whenever we are doing a project, for example, if we are doing a project for a space or a landscape design experience, we also see the case study of how things have done at different places.
Yeah.
In your case, are you also referring to maybe different airports or different infrastructure in order to see, hey, how they are doing it? Like, what's your R&D, like a study sort of a thing that you maybe do, or do you think it's not that complicated and everything comes together with all the planning?
No, definitely we need to get the right person for the right job. When you talk about as a terminal design, it's quite specialized. People need to know how or we need to have the experience of designing other airports to know what are the pain points and how to take it forward. So the airport is, the whole, this one, we like to tell it, we are a business of businesses. It's not just one business that we cater to. We are an umbrella organization under which the airlines operate, the restaurants, the F&B lounges, and so many other things operate as part of the whole airport ecosystem. And each one has its own speciality. Each one needs its own expert to come in and design that bit. And that's why I spoke of it as a jigsaw puzzle. All the pieces of the puzzle have to fit in. So you try to reach out and get the right person, the right expert for that specific kind of a design, and then you integrate it with the overall design. So we reached out to experts from all across the world. The architect for Terminal 2 was SOM from New York, and along with that we had people from the London, from UK. We had some specialists on lighting design from Belgium, airstrip lighting. It's a very, very specialized airfield ground lighting part. And then we had for sustainability, for the rainwater harvesting, we had to get somebody from Singapore. They are very well known for their water management part. So we reached across the world, people who designed from Australia, from even if you talk about the consultants who already have their offices here,
Yeah.
from Hyderabad or from Gurgaon, those type of people, they used to bring their specialists from the US or from this one just for certain portions, and then they go back to their design. So it's a true collaborative effort.
These organizations also bring their
Experts.
great network out of it. I think this is the intangible part that I like to know more about. Would be um, like you are managing something that's maybe the one of the biggest scale project that one could do, like, and this also bring a lot of people working under you, with you. How, as a leader, you think you've managed all of these folks without making sure that the timelines are not getting delayed?
I mean, that's interesting. The whole the role of a leader would be how the integrated the team works, how well they work with each other. So yeah, I mean, one of the first things I did after joining the Bangalore airport, I sat with our CXOs, all the people, and then we came up with this team building exercise, and I called it, or finally the name selected was Ekagati. We all have to move in one momentum, one direction, and one speed together. You cannot leave behind somebody and go too fast or go in two different directions and things like that. So we coined this word Ekagati as one umbrella. It was a call for people to unite and come together, and all various people from different backgrounds coming together for a short duration, for, I mean, 3 years or 5 years, and then dispersing again. So they need to come and they need to know what the vision, what we have to deliver, and work together on that, and then come. So we had various team building activities happening to bring them closer, for each of them to be comfortable working with everybody else, and then take it forward. So it was a very nice exercise that we did, and I think it worked quite well.
Interesting. I think I'm not sure if that is a part of your role to kind of build teams. I think but as a leader, do you have you been in spaces where, okay, hey, we are doing this project. It's the scale of the project is this much, and you need to build your own team. How are you making sure that you're finding the right people, or just from? I'm sure there's a lot of trust that you need to put in people, but trust is also not scalable. How have you been navigating that, and maybe building great teams and attracting great people to work under your leadership?
So I mean, I believe that once you communicate clearly what is the vision, what has to come, and you build a brand around it, people will be attracted like magnets. They'll come to the location. Eventually, it just falls together. Everything comes together. So the Bangalore airport already has created that kind of a buzz, that kind of a brand, saying that this is how we do it, and this is how we need to work together and get it done. So collaboration, trust, excellence in whatever we do. So all these things are driven in right from the beginning. So there will be a big process of actually screening the consultants. So there is a lot of pre-qualification that people need to meet and demonstrate, yes, we can do this. And that's how they come on board. It's not quite free and open. We have to be, as leaders, we have to be choosy, and we need to know, we need to be convinced that these are the people who are really going to take us across the finishing line.
Yeah.
So that way, I think it has worked out quite well. We found the right partners, um, and we were able to work together and get it across, and finally deliver the whole expansion program.
Sir, you are from Bangalore. You were born and brought up in this city. You've seen the city growing and blowing up, like from the working ecosystem to infrastructure. What do you think about Bangalore as an infrastructure, as a city, as a working org?
I mean, a city can be compared to almost like a breathing organization, a breathing, living organism that comprises of several other components coming in and going out, kind of a thing. Um, it needs that kind of infrastructure. It needs that kind of an encouragement or supplement to help it grow and to function well. So it's quite a challenge. It's not easy. A lot of uh, cities have actually struggled and not really able to cope up and get the thing done. But one advantage that Bangalore has compared to the other metropolis in India is it can expand on all sides. I mean, Mumbai is constrained by the sea
Yeah.
like it's almost like an island. Chennai is like on one side only. It can go.
Yeah.
So Calcutta also is the same kind of thing. So Bangalore has this advantage of expanding on all sides. And one of the best things about Bangalore, when you ask any visitor, is the weather. So very cool. I mean, it's not
very,
very
very workable. I think people are more productive here as
yeah.
well. Even me applies to me. I'm from the north, so we see both sides of extreme temperatures and different struggles.
Yeah.
But out here, it's like kind of balance, and you can lock in and like spend more time working, be more productive.
Correct. So those things are in favor of Bangalore, and I think if the infrastructure, like the airport, the metro system, and the roads, the traffic is always talked about that it is
Yeah.
falling apart. But all these other aspects can help make it better and take
Yeah.
forward. Of course, for me, I have seen a huge change. I mean, from my childhood days to now, parts of Bangalore which I have never even been to. I can't even imagine how it grew and like
Yeah.
how it is right now compared to what it was before.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of governance constraint, but I think city needs to be designed well as well. I
Absolutely.
think this is what we've been missing a lot, and how people are, like running it. Like, how would you build an airport? I suggest, and maybe like people like you should be leading the. That takes us to the end of our conversation, sir. You've been a part of Bangalore Airport for almost 7-8 years. Before that, you were at Trembol, and so some of the biggest companies out there. Where are we? Where are you going from here? Where are you taking your expertise from here? And even as an individual, what do you think you've seen and you'd love to see more?
It's, I mean, the whole situation. So when you have a goal to complete, you put your eyes on the goal and you just focus on it and get it done. And once it is done, you kind of step back and you have to take a breath, you take a pause and you try to say, okay, this is accomplished, this is done now. What next? So the whole horizon wakes up and I was just going through my mind. So in 1990, when I completed my graduation, that's when India started actually opening up. All the what people used to call the license Raj was kind of dismantled and more open market needed to come. And that gave rise to a lot of these developments. That is where we are now for the last 35 years. Um, Now you can again see that boost or that kind of expansion happening. And people are talking why we can't have the Commonwealth Games in India. Why? We had something 1980s, some long time back, and that was a different era. And why can't we even have the Olympics in India? And that needs a lot of infrastructure. That needs that kind of a scale to be for as an international focus. The whole world will be focusing on that. And we are talking about the high-speed rail, the bullet trains. We are talking about so much of things that people couldn't even imagine that's happening now. And I think that is an exciting period to be in. to be able to participate in this type of an infrastructure growth and take it forward for the next generation or the generations to come. So a lot of opportunities are there, and I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to being part of that and trying to contribute as much as possible to take it forward.
Very excited to see where it goes, sir. Thanks a lot for hopping onto the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for the great conversation and insights.
Thank you. I mean, I really enjoyed this. I think you have a nice thing going here, really groundbreaking, and sharing it with the people. I think that's a great um action to take it forward.
Thanks a lot.
All the best for you.